Greetings all. It's getting to be time to pull up onions. Yeah, you betcha. These babies right here are White Castle. There we go. Beauty, huh? Very nice. When harvesting onions, you want to wait for the greens to begin to yellow, some like this, and then for them to drop. And you'll get about 20-30% of the row starts to drop. We usually go by with the hoe and we knock them all down so that the skins will set at the same time. Now if you're on the mainland and you're somewhere where it's fall and it dries out in fall, or if you're in California and you're harvesting spring, it's drying out in spring, you can cure them out there in the field. Here, it's not quite so easy. It rains an awful lot. Well, as I say, curing skins on onions around here is a challenge. It just doesn't stop raining most of the time. And it's really nice if you got a dry spell for doing this. Well, about all I can say is keep your eyes on them as they start to drop and as greens start to yellow. You're going to want to get in there and start to get your onions, start to pull them out of the ground and bring them in and cure them so they don't do this. This is where sort of a rot got started in the skins. Now this onion is still perfectly good, okay, but I'm going to have to chop the top off of it, peel it, and use it shortly. It is not going to keep, okay? We have some absolutely gorgeous onions. And now, fake news, right? I don't need an AI to lie. Look at the size of these onions. They're bigger than my head. Well, no, but they're pretty nice. Now, this is White Castle. In the past, I have grown the Granex hybrids. That's the one we call the Maui onion. It's also the Texas sweet and the Vidalia from Georgia. Pretty much same onion, different areas. Not as fond of it as some other short day onions, sweet onions like Gabriella, Magdalene, which I harvested. Those are yellow skin onions. This is a white skin onion called White Castle. It was a selection on Johnny's Seeds. I had never heard of it. Of course, having come from the Midwest, I know what a White Castle burger is. Yeah, we had the stands all over Chicago. Worse than McDonald's, really. Cheaper, too. Anyway, I saw the name, and it was a sweet, short day, and I said, I'm going to give this thing a try. I have started harvesting some here. We have a nice basket full. It's good and heavy. I have to get out there and get more before we start to have some skin rot problems. Yeah, what happens, see, is if you're anywhere where you may get a dry fall, or if it's a winter onion, a dry spring, like on the West Coast, as the season dries out, the onions begin to drop and then the skins begin to set. Not around Puna. The rain just really never stops. We don't have a dry spell, and so as the onions get ready, if you're sitting around waiting for them in the field like you might have done back in Minnesota, you're out of luck. And on this one especially, I have never seen an onion that was so mild that it was attacked by picnic beetles. Yeah, unreal. Anybody out there know the picnic beetle? That little beetle that gets in masses. It'll slug bites a hole in a tomato, fills with picnic beetles. Your cantaloupe cracks, at the stem end or someplace. Picnic beetles going straight in. I've seen them get into watermelons before too. Usually they like an entry. If something else bit a hole, or if the fruit cracked, but they're drawn to sweet. Strawberries, when I raise strawberries around here, I'd say the picnic beetle is almost a worse problem than the slugs or the birds. Anyway, yeah, that guy, ordinarily it eats fruit, and generally fairly sweet fruit. Strawberries, stuff like that, cantaloupes. Never seen it. I had them boring right into the side of these onions. Now, that's a problem, I guess, but it also says something else. This is one sweet onion. if the picnic beetles will go in there, there's very little sulfur in this thing at all. And it's been my experience. It is incredible. It really is. It's a remarkable onion. If you live here in Hawaii and you can use a white-skinned onion, this is the one, White Castle. Johnny Seeds is where I sourced it, but it's probably out there in other places. Yeah, if I can find myself a red onion with polyphenols, good for the gut biome, that will grow the same way this one will, I'll be adding it to the collection. But so far, hottest onion yet. All right, folks, don't give up on growing onions here. Aloha, and I'll have the plants again in season for fall.